Hi Math 1. This video is going to be a review of section 5.5, Ready, Set, Go. Okay, this is page 28 in your packet. I'm going to do some examples here on the left-hand side using these graph papers. I would like for you to go to this first box. We're going to just cross out this problem here, okay, and we're going to write a new example. So the example that I would like for you to write down is 10x minus 2y is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so we're going to review the steps for how to graph an inequality. The first thing we have to do is rearrange. And we're going to get this into point slope form. So I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides. Okay. What that gives us is negative 2y is greater than or equal to negative 10x. Okay, the y is not alone yet. We still have another couple steps to do. We're going to divide all terms by negative 2. There's only two terms, okay, because that had nothing on it. Now it's got the negative 10x. So these cancel out, and it's just y. A negative divided by negative is going to be 5x. And don't forget, when you divide by a negative, we have to flip the sign. Okay, so this equation is in slope-intercept form. Sometimes it helps people to see some other things. So the slope is 5 over 1. And then the y-intercept is actually 0 here. There's nothing there. So the slope is 5 over 1. And the y-intercept is 0, 0. Okay? So the first thing you do is you get your equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and graph this equation. We're going to start on 0, 0. And let's use the slope to make more points. We're going to go up 5 over 1. I'm also going to go the other way. I'm going to go down 5, which means I would need to go left 1. And I'm going to go ahead and graph that line. Now the questions we need to ask ourselves when we're graphing inequalities, okay? I take a look at this, and since it has an equal sign, okay, I'm going to make a solid line. So let's go ahead and graph a solid line, okay, with the arrows. And then the second thing we have to ask ourselves is which way are we going to shade? This is a less than sign, and less than signs mean that you shade below. You shade below, and what below means is you shade down the y-axis. We shade down. So I like to find that y-intercept, and it's very clear which way is down or which way is below the line. Okay, if I keep going up higher, 5, 6, 7, these are higher numbers. So this is the section that you're going to want to shade. What I'd like to do here is go ahead and state the intercepts of the boundary line. So here's the boundary line. There's only one intercept. Okay, it's the same point. The x-intercept is 0, 0, but the y-intercept is also 0, 0. That only happens when your intercept is on the origin. Okay, so here's the intercepts of that boundary line for our shading. All right, let's take a look down here on the left. We're going to, again, let's just cross this problem out. We're going to do a different example. The example that I would like to do with you today is the equation negative 2x minus 3y is less than negative 9. There's a lot of negatives in this equation. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get this into slope-intercept form. So we're going to move the 2x to the right side. Since that's minus or negative, I'm going to add 2x. You always do the opposite. You add 2x. Okay, so now there's no x's on the left. The x's have been transferred to the right. Make sure we write down the negative sign here with the negative 3y. I'm going to put the 2x first, just so that it's more like slope-intercept form. Doesn't matter which way you put it, but the 2 is positive and the 9 is negative. The next step would be to divide all terms by negative 3. Okay, now you remember what happens when you divide by a negative? Okay, we're going to have to flip that sign. So y is alone. This sign is going to be a greater than sign. This fraction does not divide nicely. That's okay. It is going to be a negative, and we have 2/3. That's okay because that's the slope. A negative divided by a negative makes a positive 3. Okay, so I got the equation in slope-intercept form. The reason we do that is so that we can graph it easily. So if I take a look at the equation information, the key features, okay, the key features are his slope. Okay, don't just say the key feature is he has a slope. What is his slope? It's downhill, -2/3. And then the starting point, the y-intercept point, would be 0, 3. So let's go get this equation graphed. We're going to start at 0, 3, a y-intercept way up there. We're going to go down 2/3. We're going to go down 2/3. Okay. Let's go the other way. Let's go up 2, left 3. Okay. The second thing we need to think about is, should I graph a solid line or a dashed line? Since it's greater, not equal, it's just greater, he's going to get a dashed line. A dashed line because there's no equal sign. So when you use your ruler, make sure you dash it. Now dashed lines still get arrows. It's just that I cannot use any of the points on that line. I have to strictly be greater. Okay, so the second question we need to ask ourselves, should I shade above or below? Greater means shade above. Okay, and when we say above, that means go up the y-axis, go up. So if I look at the y-axis, the intercept, the crossing point is right there. We're going to shade the numbers 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is the half of the graph paper that we want. All of those points in there would work. Okay, something I want to review with you are the intercepts. So what are the intercepts? What are the intercepts of this boundary line? The intercepts of the boundary line. Well, I know one of them right there. The y-intercept is 0, 3. And then the x-intercept, oh, the x-intercept is somewhere right here. I know if I go down 2, I go over 3. So if I go down 1, it's 1.5. That was kind of tricky. So the x-intercept is 4.5, 0. Those are the intercepts of the boundary line of that shaded region. Okay. Your assignment is to do numbers 5 and 6. These two questions right here on this right-hand side of the paper. In this space, upload a nice vertical picture so I can see all your work and your graphs. We're graphing the line, we have to rearrange, and I want to see shading. Good luck.